Here we go. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Blazers Uprise Live. We got some more free agent signings for you guys today with our mock off season. Eric said he has a trade to announce. We'll announce that in a second. I do have a donation link. Since I can't take normal donations on this channel, there is a donation link in the description if you're interested in supporting the channel. Gotta get this up to 1,000 subscribers before I can get the cool YouTube donations, which kind of sucks. But what else do I gotta plug? I don't know. I'm not even gonna plug things. I just want to give it a little bit of time for people to filter in before you announce this trade, before we get into it. So, what's up, chat?
Well, the trade's kind of lame. I could.
It's lame. Oh,
it's a small trade.
I think I know what it is because I think I just saw a message on it, but I was worried about going live. What's up, Jordan? What's up, Portland Made?
Tommy Thompson, Mini Tooth, Trevin.
Announce weekend deals? What do you mean weekend deals? I'm doing
players that signed over the weekend, I guess is what he's saying.
I'm doing good, bro. How you doing? I'm just waiting to hit 10. Then I want to hear this trade. I want to see if it's the one that I'm thinking of, because the message I got didn't seem like it worked.
This one is between the Lakers and the Grizzlies. I don't know if that's the one.
No, mine was between the Lakers and I got to double check with that. The Lakers and the Heat.
You mean the Pelicans and Heat?
Oh yeah, the Pelicans and the Heat.
Yeah, that one didn't work.
Yeah, I didn't think so. When I looked at it, I was like, I'm not gonna sort this out, but I'm pretty sure that don't work.
Well, just so you guys know, you can't trade your rookies yet either because they signed and you have to wait 30 days.
Yeah.
To sign them.
So wait till the start. We'll have like a training camp and preseason segment. There's not gonna be games. There's no training camp or preseason in 2K, but I'll do a little. I'll explain when we get there.
We'll probably just have that be the same date that contracts are combinable again. Be around that time anyway.
No, we could do it. Oh yeah, it's combinable. Yeah, I thought you meant like December 15th. I was like, we'll just do December 15th.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah, that brings me to my other reminder. You can't trade guys you just signed too.
Yeah, you can't trade guys you just signed until December 15th. And for restricted free agents, isn't it January 15th? Or is that if you match an offer sheet?
There's certain exceptions that if you use to sign a player, it's December or January 15th. I'll have to look at the exact rules on that.
Yeah. So anyway.
All right, we're over 10. I'll announce the trade, I guess.
Yeah, let me just say something. Let me just check something first. Let me just check something. God, my phone's so glitchy. Yeah, please don't complain about lag if it's on your end. Like, I don't know. Please try and figure it out if it's on your end or not. And
Doge and Ben every time say it's lagging.
Yeah, it's like you guys' internet isn't.
It's their internet connection. Yeah.
What's up, Clays? Yeah, please don't, because then I have to check it, man. And like, I feel like there's a way to tell if it's on your end or if it's on my end, but yeah, you guys always throwing me for a loop. So let me get the stream up so I'm not questioning that.
It's working fine for me.
Except my phone is so broken. All right, so now it's that trade. Well, I pull this up.
All right, so the Lakers are getting Kyle Anderson and a Memphis 2022 second for Kentavious Caldwell-Pope.
That's not. I don't think that's a good trade for the Lakers at all.
That's a horrible trade for the Lakers. I think
that is.
They traded someone who shot almost 40% from three last year. It was kind of a good fit for them, for someone who shoots career 30% three.
Who's
Kind of needs the
worse on
ball to
a
be successful, but yeah.
worse
And is on
contract?
a worse contract, 2 years instead of one.
Oh, why are people
Yeah, it's a
trading
very
guys
bad
just
trade.
for the hell of it? Like that, what's the point in that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Wish we could get the Laker guy in here watch the stream because I want to know his logic for that.
He said something about watching the stream, but yeah.
Well, if he's in here, I want to know the logic because not a fan of that move for you, man. Just because Kyle Anderson is not a good fit with LeBron.
Well,
Like he's not. He's a guy who can't shoot. You already had some guys that couldn't really shoot last year. And Kyle Anderson's just a worse player. And if you're the Lakers, you're trying to win a ring. You don't really care about a 2022 second round pick, like to downgrade your lineup. I don't understand that. So
yeah, me either.
anyway, just like the I didn't really understand the Miami trading Olynyk for Torian Prince. Like Olynyk is so much better. Like Olynyk is better at so many things. He's literally a better. Olynyk's a center and Torian Prince is like a forward, but Olynyk's a better shooter. Olynyk's a better passer. Olynyk, like, yeah, he's maybe a better defender. Different type of defender, but so Miami needed him at center too, and then he trades Olynyk away for Prince. It just doesn't make sense because that's a downgrade, and he's trading a position he needs for a position he didn't need. I didn't understand that at all. But
And then he re-signs Crowder.
yeah, it's like if you're gonna re-sign Crowder, that's the thing. It's like, why would you need Prince and Crowder? Like you don't need that. I don't know. That trade didn't make sense to me, but
Now he's got 15 guys on his roster and doesn't have many bigs.
yeah. Maybe he's gonna do some Houston Rockets type crap. I don't know.
There's some Clays and Ben drama in the chat.
Clay's is bullying Ben. Damn.
No, not bullying.
I see. He's bullying him. Anyway,
I still have the little Skype window in my screen.
the damn Skype window. Hate that thing. All right, so let's hop into the sightings. Let's I don't know who you want to start with.
Is Doge lagging?
Does Doge say he's still lagging? um just get into it.
All right, so the big one of the day is Christian Wood. He had someone who came this morning with a over-the-top offer of two comparable offers that were on the table, and the other person chose not to bump his offer at all. So Christian Wood is going back to Detroit.
Yeah. How much is he making?
He offered him 4 years, $100 million.
4 years, $100 million.
25 a year.
Yeah, I wasn't going to bump my offer up to that.
Yeah, it's pretty much getting into max.
I was
territory.
already offering to overpay his ass, and
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna say how much I was offering, but
So Tori just revealed that he was the other
yes,
suitor.
I was the other suitor. I think people probably could have guessed that, because not many teams have cap space. I'm one of them. They know I'm big on Christian Wood, so.
I thought about putting an offer for Wood, but I kind of feel like Wiseman and him would be similar type players eventually, and I didn't want them kind of deterring from each other, if that made sense. I know they could probably play together, but
I think they're a good fit together, to be honest. I don't know. I think Wood is agile and quick enough to guard the four.
But I knew the price tag was going to get up to this, and I was like, yeah, it's probably not worth it for me. Yeah.
So my logic was, at first I was trying to like overpay him for like 2 to 3 years, just to not have that. I don't know, because my logic is like in the next couple years, 2 years from now, I'm gonna have like 5 rotation guys that are on rookie contracts, right? I have DeAnthony Melton $9 million a year. I have Pirtle $9 million a year. You're gonna have to pay marketing, but if he doesn't like have a vast improvement, maybe he doesn't get that high of a price tag. So it's like I'm gonna have a ton of money in the next couple years. It's like I probably wouldn't be able to find something worthwhile to use all that money on. So really, the money amount wasn't a big deal for me with Christian Wood. So I was offering him like 22 and a half, 23 million a year over 4 years, which I know people would have said was an overpay, but at that point I couldn't go higher than that. I mean, I already got Markkanen, I already got freaking DeMarcus Cousins right now. I already got Toppin. I was gonna slide Toppin over to the 3 because, offensively, I think it would be fine with Christian Wood and DeMarcus Cousins because both those guys can shoot. And you could post up Toppin at the 3, and Toppin can shoot a little bit, and I think he would have been fine at the 3 offensively. Defensively, it would have been challenged, but I thought maybe, it'd make him better defending the perimeter. That was my whole logic. Eric was like, you gotta play Toppin at the 3, and it was like, I ain't trying to win, and I think it might help him long term. So, anyway.
Yeah, so Detroit, if you would have came over the top, would have been tough because even though Christian Wood, they had early bird rights and a ton of cap space, they could only pay him up to the mid-level exception without using that cap space. Mm-hmm. So he had to renounce Thon Maker. So Thon Maker is now an unrestricted free agent to make this work. Yeah. But he couldn't have gone much higher. I don't think he could have gotten to a max offer without trading someone down in contracts. It would have been close. But, so he pretty much came with his biggest offer he could make this morning. And, it was just a little better than yours, unfortunately, for you. But you did successfully drive the price up for it.
Yeah, I did. I did avenge you, so that's good.
Thanks, man.
Yep, got you.
The only other offer, so the Knicks had a offer in the upper teens.
I figured that.
But I got to call out some people here for totally misjudging the value of Christian Wood in this game. AM Productions was the first one to offer him a contract, and it was 2 years, $2 million, which is below the minimum contract. And he called him Christian Woods, not Christian Wood, so he got all mad at him. That was not good. And then he kept offering him that same contract over and over again. The Bucks offered him the tax mid-level exception, which obviously wasn't in the ballpark. I think Dallas did as well.
Bro. I'm high on Christian Wood, but no, he's not flashes of AD and Giannis, man. No, oh, God. I'm sorry, but no. No. And this is coming from somebody that's high on him? No. Just because he can guard the perimeter, shoot the 3, and he's big doesn't mean he's AD/Giannis. Like, oh man, no, he's not, man. And I'm a big believer in his talent. I believe he has a chance to be a borderline all-star, but he ain't AD or Giannis. Come on, man. But his price was really hard to judge. You'll be curious to see what he gets in real life. He'll be the most interesting guy to watch. Flashes of Dirk. Yeah, he's Dirk. He's flashes of Dirk, AD, and Giannis, but combined. So.
Speaking of Anthony Davis, the Lakers offered him the biennial exception, which $25 million versus 3.8.
The Lakers offered Anthony Davis 3.
No, the Christian Wood.
Oh, got you.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, like, it's fine taking, if your team like Detroit paying him $25 million, it's fine because he should, honestly, talent-wise, he should live up to that.
Cleveland also offered him about $3 million. So
that's funny.
Yeah, he was like, "Are you kidding me? You only think I'm worth that much?"
We got Detroit sitting here overhyping the hell out of him right now. And I am like as big of a Christian Wood fan as like anybody else watching this stream, and I even got to shut this down. His athleticism is not off the charts. Like, he's an athletic big, but I'm not going to say it's off the charts. Off the charts athleticism is Zion Williamson. Christian Wood doesn't compare to that. He's athletic. He's not off the charts. Like, I wonder what his vertical jump was. I'm not gonna worry about that right now. Anyway, next signing. Let's move on from.
All right, so there's a little bit of controversy with the next player. So the person he was about to sign with, self, what's that called? When you out yourself of a crime.
Exposed himself.
Exposed himself for tampering this afternoon. Tori and I decided to let you go ahead with the offer sheet because it's kind of questionable how much you knew about the rules and stuff, and we're trying not to be too serious.
If there was a
even though we're
comparable
kind of
offer,
joking around.
yeah. If there was a comparable offer, though, he wasn't gonna consider you anymore for that reason. But since
self-indicted, thank you.
Yeah, but since there really wasn't any competing offer compared to what he was offering, decided to move forward with it.
So Bogdanovic is signing a offer sheet with the New York Knicks. It's for 4 years, $79.7 million. So averaging out to just about $20 million a year, starting at 18.5 with the 5% raises.
That's a lot of cash. The difference between like a guy like Christian Wood and Bogdanovic is we know what Bogdanovic is. He's 27, so we know what he is. Christian Wood, it's like that dude could be really, really good. Like he's shown flashes of being really good. So he could definitely live up to maybe $25 million a year if he's able to be like a 22-10 guy. Bogdanovic is like Bogdanovic I don't think is worth it right now, and I don't think he has like the potential upside to be worth it. But maybe if he got the hell out of Sacramento, because Sacramento is Sacramento, and maybe if he got more of a role, be interesting to see what he could do.
Well, he's not guaranteed to be out of Sacramento because Dame Dollar has 48 hours to decide whether or not to match that offer or not.
Dame Dollar watching. And after,
he can decide. He was early. After the stream, if you want, I'll break down the contract for you, Dame Dollar, to see if you want to match. But you don't have to necessarily make the decision now. Yep. He offered him a similar 3-year deal, so that wasn't too much less than this per year. So I'd be surprised if he didn't match. But yeah, you can't be talking about whether teams what amount of money they'll spend on their free agents, just to let everyone know. I can't contact Tori and be like, hey, next year free agency, how much are you going to pay DeRozan? If you don't go over a certain amount, I'll take him for this much or whatever. Like that's tampering. Yeah. And it's collusion to like keep his costs down too.
You'd be getting $1 million fine for that one.
You'd probably lose a draft pick in the new rules.
Yep. So anyway.
And yeah, you can't, especially with restricted free agents. Like when I signed Scal, I couldn't contact Atlanta to be like, how much should I offer him? I don't want you to sign. Like, I put that in the rule book under the sign and trade things, that you don't have permission until you're given permission from the player to talk about a sign and trade or whatever. It's the same way with contacting.
I don't think we'll have a single sign and trade at this point. It doesn't look like we will. So kind of glad not to have to sort that out.
Yeah. All right. So Christian Wood's off the table. The next one is Carmelo Anthony. Now, this is interesting because he got 2 offers that I cannot choose between. So for, I think, only the second time we're going to have to use the random number generator. Signed with my... Boggy signed with my...
What?
Bog. What?
I think this means Bogdanovic.
Yeah, but... yeah, we know... We just announced that, but he's a restricted free agent, so you can match the contract.
Yeah, if you match the contract, you keep him. Or you can decline to match the contract and let him go to...
But I'll let you know what exactly the contract is later.
All right. Go on.
So Carmelo Anthony got an offer from the Knicks, which I think in real life he would really want to go back to the Knicks. His old agent is now the president of basketball operations or whatever.
Yeah, but do the Knicks even have the... Oh, yeah, they do, because they have the room exception. Okay, go on. My bad.
So, you keep saying New York. We know he signed with New York. I don't know. I don't get what you're saying.
We literally just went over that. We're the ones who said he signed an offer sheet with New York. I don't know why
You're the one that needs to decide, not tell us where he signed with.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
But anyway, so in real life, I think Melo, like he didn't want to leave New York really in the first place. So I think that's where his heart is. That's where he grew up, all that stuff. So I thought when he got that offer that there was no way that any other team could beat that, because he doesn't seem like the guy that needs a couple more $1 million. But then the Phoenix Suns came over the top with so he was offered 2 years, $8 million by the Knicks, and then 2 years, $13 million by the Suns today. So I thought that was pretty even between the two, whether which one to choose.
Yeah. Do you think 50-50?
I probably with how big it was, I'd probably say 55-45 Phoenix.
All right.
Because that's quite a bit more money.
Yep. So 1-55 will be Phoenix. I'll do it on screen for y'all. 1-55, he's going to Phoenix. Anything above 55, he's going to New York. So 27, he's going to Phoenix.
All right. So Carmelo Anthony is going to the Phoenix Suns. And Dame Dollar, to no one's surprise, says he wasn't listening. What was the contract?
Bro, yeah. Come on, man. You can rewind the live stream video? You realize that, right?
And again, I'll give you the exact details of the contract when this is...
after the stream.
Yeah.
Poor Westbrook. Hey man, the dude's getting paid. Dude's getting a good paycheck for being 36.
The Knicks don't really need him anyway.
Yeah. So.
All right. So next up we have Maurice Harkless. Now, he got offers from several teams. A lot of them were not good, like minimum or a couple million a year. The Suns came in third, but weren't willing to budge. Were offering him a little over $3 million a year. We had two offers here for about 2 years and a little over $10 million, and those were by the Heat and the Blazers. But after the Heat traded for Taurean Prince and signed Jay Crowder, Maurice decided that he has no reason to go to the Heat because they just signed two basically Maurice Harklesses.
Yeah.
So he has chosen the Portland Trailblazers.
Right,
he's coming back to Portland.
Alrighty. I will talk about his fit with the Blazers. What's up?
Look who's here, People's Mix.
People's Mix?
Oh, here we're back.
Yeah, we are back. Okay. Cool.
I see People's Mix in here. You can't answer a single question on Discord anymore, man. We've been doing free agency for a week now. You can't even like respond to my message asking if you even acknowledge that we started free agency. But you can come in here.
Where do you see the man?
He said lag right here. 5:21 p.m. People's Mix lag.
Oh, that's funny. What's up, man? Where you been, bro? Missing you, bro.
Okay, we've been doing a lot of these mock-off seasons over the last couple of years, right, Tori?
Yeah.
I've never seen someone so into it and then just disappear
yeah.
out of the blue. It's usually the people who like it's hard to get a hold of from the beginning, and then they're eventually like, I just didn't know how much time it was going to take or something.
Yeah.
But like this man flat out spent like every minute of every day making trades for like 4 or 5 days, and that was just like peace out.
I was complaining about how much he was doing. Now I kind of miss it. I got a donation. All right, thank you for letting me know. I'll check it.
Thanks, Russell Westbrook.
Good old Russell Westbrook.
I played Call of Duty with Russell Westbrook last night, and he was saying like it's kind of weird that we call him Russell Westbrook because he hates Westbrook, but that's like his
Rick.
YouTube name, so
Yeah.
that's what everyone calls him now. But like he hates that because he's basically being called Russell Westbrook. Yeah,
He said, "Consider this my tampering fine payment." Thank you for the $10 donation. That's awesome.
yeah.
If only,
Yeah,
if only we
people
made
fix
actual
up.
tampering fines, I'd be rich. I'd be rich. I'd be out of this room. Oh man. Yeah, People's Mix hasn't even responded. Yeah, he dipped out. I don't know. I don't know what's been up with him. Hopefully everything's going good for him. Anyway, next person we got is.
Hold on, just a second.
Oh yeah, well, as I was saying before I started lagging. Well, we'll talk about Maurice Harkless. I will talk about Harkless's fit with the Blazers, like with their roster now. Obviously, we know like how his skill set, works with some of the players on the team, and we know what he can provide. And I think that's a good price tag for him, and I think that's a good signing. They kind of needed a 3-4 type. Portland might be too deep now. You got Devontae Graham, DeLon Wright off the bench, Harkless off the bench, Whiteside off the bench, Trent. Oh, Trent's gone.
Trent's gone, yeah.
So Hood off the bench, right? Yeah, Hood off the bench. So they got Graham, DeLon Wright, Rodney Hood, Maurice Harkless, Hassan Whiteside off the bench. I don't think you can find enough minutes for those guys. So it's going to be interesting to see what Trevin does with that, because I know he's talking about having a good 10-man rotation, but the thing is his 6th through 10th guys are all so good that you really can't play a 10-man rotation, or they're all going to have to be shorted on minutes and play less than they're deserving to play, because Devontae Graham deserves like 27 minutes a game. Rodney Hood, he comes back and healthy, he deserves like 27 minutes a game. DeLon Wright deserves some minutes. Hassan Whiteside going to take all the backup center minutes, and then Harkless, he deserves some minutes. The problem is all your starters are good too, so it's not like you're going to, have Robert Covington play 20 minutes a game. So the minutes breakdown there is going to be weird.
The only good thing about it is you can afford to bring back Hood super slow and not push him too much, I guess. But that was the problem with making the DeLon Wright trade that we talked about, is when you have a 4-guard rotation, when your starting guards are that good, it's really hard to keep everyone happy.
Yeah.
And Wright can play a few minutes at the small forward, but now you got Rocco and Harkless and Hood. Like, that's going to be hard to play him any minutes at the three.
If somebody gets injured, they'll be fine. You know what I mean?
Right.
Places only signed Harkless because of Torrey's video. I disagree with that. I think, I don't know. A lot of Blazer fans want Harkless back. Before I even made that video.
Well, Trevin was listening to you about Melo too, because he did not even give him an offer.
Trevin's smart. He's listening to me. So that MLE targets video I should have up tonight. It's not like I haven't been working on it. I've said, I'm going to do this video in the past and then just completely forgot or just not worked on it. I've already worked on that video for 5 to 6 hours. So, been grinding it out. I had to re-record, man, because my mic input switched to like my webcam mic around the start of my first recording, and I didn't realize it. So like I could still see the mic bar working because I was looking at that to make sure it wasn't like completely shut off, and it was still working. I'm like, okay, good. Record a whole thing, put it in the editor, went back, listened to it. Horrible. So
Torrey technical difficulties.
dude,
Jones.
it's always something, man. I wish I could have stuff go smoothly for once, but I think you guys will like the graphics, and I went pretty in depth on a lot of different guys. It's actually 15 targets because one of the spots I actually had like 5 center replacements in case Whiteside leaves. The rest of the spots I had players at other positions, so it'll be like a little over 20 minute video, and then we'll get Eric's video up later this week because I teased that at the start of that, and I'm gonna push that on Twitter and on the internet, and I'm gonna push that video. So anyway,
that is all I have for the signings for today.
What's the status on Malik Beasley?
Malik Beasley is basically waiting. He's gotten some decent offers, but he is not ready to sign yet. Basically, because the team that controls him is really hard to get a hold of, and
Good old Leo, man.
just gives me generic responses like, "Yeah, just pay him whatever." So like, it's hard for me to.
Leo, bro.
I can't run his team for him. So I tried messaging him on Twitter, asking like, "What is your official like offer? Could you please message me?" And I haven't heard back. So yeah, it's kind of hard to know what to do with Beasley, but yeah, he has gotten some decent offers. I just don't. I kind of wanted to wait on Beasley too, because some of the people that missed out on some big names that still have a little bit of space might then turn their attention to him. So he was kind of waiting on, knowing that the money wasn't going to completely dry up yet, that some other teams could jump into his mix.
I can't even figure out a team that really has money to offer him. Just looking at the free agent team salary and exception sheet. So I'm curious as to who's offering him, but you got 5 teams that can offer him. Before this, you had 5 teams that could offer him more than 12 mil.
Oh, yeah, we might not want to. This is probably on the edge of altering people's decisions on money.
I'm not going to say any opinion on like any money he's being offered or anything. I'm just saying like the Kings or the Knicks had 20 million cap space. One of those teams, depending on if Sacramento matches Bogdanovic, one of those teams is completely gone cap space wise. I'm just talking about the cap situation. You don't even have to think of this related to.
I have some news to announce regarding that if you want me to.
Go ahead.
The Sacramento Kings are matching the offer for Bogdanovic, so he's going back to Sacramento.
Okay. Well, kind of.
So that leaves the Knicks, because they missed out on Melo and Bogdanovic. So yeah, Beasley's only 23, so he's still pretty young.
Yeah,
showed a lot of stuff that he didn't show, or have a chance really on Denver. But yeah. He's 23.
Yeah, I have Malik Beasley 2.0 on my team though. Good old Lonnie Walker. Maybe I'm planting seeds. Anyway, Atlanta. I'm just gonna go through the teams with like cap space without holds. Atlanta has 6 million. Charlotte, you got 25 mil still. Cleveland has like basically nothing. Detroit now has basically nothing after signing Christian Wood. Miami has basically nothing. Minnesota has 12 mil without holds, but they have Beasley's hold. But they're the team that, Beasley's restricted free agent.
Bird rights, so yeah.
Yeah. New York still has 20 million. Phoenix has nothing. Sacramento has nothing. Spurs have 25 million. So really the only teams with like serious cap space left is the Spurs, the Knicks, and the Hornets. That has like more than like 12 mil left, because the Timberwolves have 12 mil, and those are really the only teams with cap space. Teams can sign and trade, so maybe it's a sign. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's something like that. I have no idea. I'm just really curious to see what's going on with Malik Beasley, because there's not really many teams left.
Just like I said, it's more of a process of
elimination,
not being able to. Like, even if there was a sign and trade team, like, how do you get a hold of Leo to talk about that?
Exactly, that's the freaking problem with them.
Yeah. But he made the decision that he was going to see if one of the teams that missed out on a guy today was going to up their offers or offer him that when they haven't, because he's really the last big name left, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I say big name. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I get what you mean.
Like, big contract guy, I'd say. But yeah, other than that, we still have a lot of I mean, there's still a lot of free agents that are probably looking at taking pretty bad offers at this point.
Yeah, see, that's why I was fine not landing Christian Wood, is because I now still have $26 million to kind of look at a different veteran free agents that I could get on decent deals, I think. Obviously not going to say any names and expose any guys that I'm going after. I don't really know yet who I'm going after, to be honest. I got to look at the thing. But that was kind of like my backup plan with that. So didn't land either like my top two targets, but that's fine. For me, I wasn't going to... A lot of the teams that wanted DeRozan was a good fit for, didn't have the contracts to trade for him, so I'm just going to wait on DeRozan and see what happens mid-season. See if Cousins can bounce back, too.
Clay said you and the Knicks are the big winners of today's signings by not signing those people.
You can't win if you don't do anything. That's my opinion. So who are the...
Ben C. Darling is now saying he needs a young shooting guard and picks for Rui after he built his whole team around him. But...
I thought Rui was untouchable, man. Why would you trade Rui? Why? That doesn't make any sense, bro. You would get a massive L for that. I don't get it. Anyway, so who are the best free agents left, do you think? So I'm looking at the list, but like it's alphabetically sorted and the colors are just like God, Toronto's color is brown.
Do you really want me to say?
Like, who you think some of the top free agents left are?
Yeah.
I mean, why would that be a problem?
You still got some... I think there's still a lot of free agents that could help good teams, if that makes sense. And that's what usually happens in these things is there's... Like, teams like you and me don't necessarily go after the Marvin Williams or the... those kind of players that end up having to sign for the minimum because no one else is offering more than that. So there's still a lot of veterans. Like for guards, you got like a Langston Galloway or a Austin Rivers or a Shabazz Napier type guys who could all be like a solid backup point guard on a decent team. Yeah, I mean, obviously Beasley's still.
Oh, I know.
You got a couple of big or shooters, like a Bellinelli or someone like that. Troy Daniels. There's a guy like Jordan McRae who kind of flashed a little bit last year on Washington, and then got traded a couple times and kind of lost his place, but showed that he probably belonged as a scorer in the NBA. Still have some decent bigs as well. Got like a Willie Hernangomez, Jan Mahimi, those, Kyle O'Quinn, your typical backup big men types. Biombo. Yeah.
All right.
I think that's about.
Check your inboxes. A name that you haven't listed. But I actually remember that was one of the guys that I liked as a backup target. I don't know if that's enough cash, but it's kind of a position of need to kind of round out my rotation too. So
yeah. All right, I'll take that into consideration.
All right. Making moves, chat. Anybody signed Anthony Bennett yet? I honestly started to think about it because he's balling in the G League. That would be a fun redemption story. But then I'd have to create him in 2K, so I said screw it. Because I already signed one guy that I'll have to create in 2K that I don't even know if I can find anything for. Freaking Jared Cumberland, but...
You should have said something about Korver.
I wish I realized.
Could have just had him retire. Yeah.
Yeah, it's whatever. I might have there might be like a good roster to download for Sims that I might download and like restart and re-go through everything, which is gonna be a time-taking process because there's been a million trades in the draft and the signings, but I don't know. It'd probably take a few days to do all that, but I'm just kind of on the fence about what I want to do with that.
So Ben's saying, are we lagging? No, we're good. Ben says Rui will rot on his bench this year. He's my only forward of the 4 I can trade.
What
is he talking about?
Who would play over him? The hell? What? Oh, God. Ben, what are you talking about, bro? Rui is your starting forward. There's nobody better. He's your starting 4. Unless you want to...
Bertans. You start Bertans over
Bertans came off the bench and was phenomenal off the bench last year. Maybe you could play Rui a little bit with Bertans since... Athletically, I think Rui can kind of hang at the 3. He just can't shoot, but if you got that stretch 4... I don't know. I'd start Rui, man, because developmental-wise, he showed a lot of flashes last year, and I really like his potential to develop long-term, man. Right now, you're really not... No offense, you're not going to win that many games. So putting a good prospect on the bench to rot makes no sense just to play a Davis Bertans or whatever. Trading him away makes no sense. It just doesn't make sense. It's like your blue chip prospect right now.
And why wouldn't you think about that before you drafted all those players? And you know what I mean? Like, you should have built your whole offseason around Rui, not the other way around.
Yeah, I don't
forcing him out of minutes.
Thing is, I don't see anybody else at the 4 who would play over him.
Not yet, yeah.
And you could maybe mess around with Bertans as a small ball 5, because I don't see anybody like Pasisniks. Pasisniks is his backup 5 for Najee or whatever, but those guys aren't that good, at least yet. Not good enough to take minutes over
find
Rui.
a way to play Rui at the backup 5 a little bit and get him some minutes there too.
Or maybe even mess around with Rui at the 3 next to Bertans at the 4 and see how those guys, fit together. I don't know. It just makes you should be getting Rui 30 minutes a game next year. That's all I'm saying.
Well, his other problem is that he has 18 players under contract right now, guaranteed.
Yeah, that's a problem. And honestly, if you starting to find Rui minutes, then maybe explore Bertans' trade value mid-season. Don't explore Rui's trade value now. It doesn't make sense. It's like if the Blazers went out and signed Marvin Williams, and then because of that, they tried to trade Zach Collins or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not perfect parallel, but... I'm just reading chat. I thought you were going to say something.
Was I wrong, or was Ben the one that wasn't even really that high on getting Avdia? He just had to take him because Okoro got picked before him. Yeah. So now he's saying he based his whole offseason on building around Denny, not Rui. I don't know.
It's kind of lagging. Ben, you lag all the time, bro. For all this, I might just say Rui's untouchable. You can't trade him for you to save your ass from yourself. And because you just said you're kind of lagging again.
Here's the other problem, too.
Oh, he said I'm lagging. I'm totally misread that. I thought he said I'm seeing things that aren't there. Anyway.
When you have you're trying to get rid of roster spots too. Like, so it's hard to trade and get good value back because it's basically having to be a 1-for-1 type trade. Yeah, I don't know. This seems weird.
Yeah. You don't want to win. Okay, then it makes no sense to trade Rui because he's a young blue, like, maybe not blue chip, but he's a really good prospect for a rebuild. So if you're not trying to win, Rui fits in perfectly with that because that means you're trying to like play for the future, and that's what where Rui's value lies. And Rui was already solid last year. Like, I don't know. Can we talk about it after the stream on Discord? Yeah, I'm just saying I'd be annoyed if you traded Rui at this point. Because that was like the one thing you did right is make him basically untouchable, like held him in high regard. And that was like the one thing you really did right. And you stuck by that. And that was like the best part of your offseason. Now you're, I'm going to trade him for a young guard just because I got forwards. Like, if you're not trying to win, play Derrick Jones Jr. at the 2 guard. You know what I mean? Play guys a little bit out of position. They'll be worse. They'll help you lose more. You can get Rui minutes. It just doesn't make sense. There's a lot of good guards in the draft next year that you'll be able to go after and get. Like,
Chat's talking about a kind of under the radar signing that I thought was actually really good from a GM that hadn't been that good, and that was Houston getting Nerlens Noel. I feel like he's basically a way cheaper version of Capella, and so he saved some money there, kind of made up for one of his previous mistakes, and I think that was a good move for him.
Yeah, I mean, Capella wasn't his mistake; it was the GM. No,
I'm saying like there's other trades like he hadn't made a lot of ones that we can praise him on.
Yeah, I think he's slowly starting to figure things out, or he just doesn't have any assets to trade, so he can't do any crazy trades.
No, I still get offers involving him that are ones that he can't make, or picks that he tries to trade that can't be traded and stuff. But
Clay said Ben gonna have to cut more guaranteed payroll than Torrey's 2022 payroll. Ben's not even in the tax right now, so I don't know what you mean. He still has like $6.5 million, so I don't get the joke.
You just say he's going to have to cut players off his roster because he's got that have guaranteed contracts.
Or you can trade them away in training camp. You know, if people don't have full rosters, you could try and get people to take people. By the way, speaking of trying to get people to take people, Marquise Chris is on the market because I don't really have the minutes available for him. So if anybody wants him, anybody needs a backup power forward or center, you can play both. Let me know. Because I already got Pirtle, I already got Markkanen, I already got Cousins, I already got Toppin, who's more of a 4 than anything else. So I don't really need Chris. I got Claxton too, so I don't really need Chris at this point. Claxton's somebody's I'm keeping though, because I was trying to like clear as much cap space to make certain things happen. Those things didn't happen, so I'm fine keeping Claxton because I actually like his game. Anyway.
You want to answer Clay's question?
What Clay say? You don't have the minutes for him, but you were going to say what? I was going to completely slide Toppin over to the 3 to get Wood like 30 to 32 minutes a game. It's not worth it to slide Toppin over to the small forward at all in order to play Chris. It was worth it for me in order to play Wood. And then like mid-season, I'd probably try and make a move to shed a big and slide Toppin back over to his natural position. That was my plan with that. But with Chris, it doesn't make sense to slide Toppin over for Chris. Wow, bro. Ben's selfish, man. He wants all the attention on him. He said, I'm going to head out since we aren't talking about me anymore. Wow, man. Thanks for the support, bro. You're just supporting yourself in here. Instead of me, instead of the community.
You'd think he'd be grateful we're talking about his team for like 5 minutes.
I know, man.
Yeah.
I know, man. And then the second
Other
we
teams
stop,
want us. Yeah.
we give him his shining moment for a good 10 minutes.
Oh, here comes Dizzy D. Can I just sign a center? You already signed Myers, and you won the random number generator to get Yurt 7. Like now he's complaining that Zizic didn't even get a chance to sign it. Well, when you don't even like talk to him and he doesn't feel like you even care about re-signing him, and you offer like 5 other centers of the last of the money you have to re-sign him, yeah, he's not going to feel like you're interested in re-signing
Yeah, I
him.
mean, if nobody's really giving him offers, he's not going to turn down an offer when he's not getting any, just doesn't make sense for him to, because that if he turns down that offer, he doesn't have anything else to fall back on. That might mean he doesn't get an offer and he's out of the league. So, there's still some decent centers available though.
But
You'll be fine.
you're in on a couple too that, yeah.
What?
I won't get into any more specifics.
Wait, Pau Gasol didn't retire?
Nope.
What?
He wanted to play again.
I didn't even realize. I just saw his name and I was shocked. So center-wise, you still got Jahlil Okafor on the market. Who's young, I don't know, like, he is what he is, he's probably not going to be much better than he is now, but he is pretty young, kind of fits your timeline. You do have a Damian Jones, who's now unrestricted out there, who's pretty young. You got Willie Hernangomez, who I just think needs a chance to play. I feel like he's kind of gotten screwed over minutes-wise. Jonah Bolden could be interesting. Biombo, just as a stopgap center if you want. Markieff Morris can slide over and play the 5. Thon Maker is now unrestricted. You got center options. Chris Boucher is restricted at the moment. Bobby Portis, who I can't stand, but some people like him, so can play some center. So you got some options to play center. Just going down the list and looking at it. Ryan Anderson's there. Good old Ryan Anderson, man. I thought he retired too. What's wrong with me? No, you got options.
Oh, big surprise. Clays agrees with me. Back to agreeing with me.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna read anything he's saying. Just thanks for letting me know you agree with him. Moving Obi, actually, let me discuss this with them. Moving Obi to the 3 is not going to be good for the team, but I'm not trying to win. Offensively, I think it'd actually be fine if you had Cousins and Wood next to him. Defensively is where he'd really struggle, but I think him playing the 3 might help him. It might force him to improve a little bit defending on the perimeter, technique-wise or something. I don't know. Like, kind of challenge him to guard skilled players on the perimeter. And honestly, if this was like real, the number one thing developmentally I'd be trying to do with Obi Toppin is to improve his lateral quickness, improve his like agility on the defensive end. Because if he's just quicker laterally, if he's more agile on the defensive end, could change direction quicker, that type of stuff, I think he could be a really, really good defender. He's just too stiff. So like if I was actually running a team, that would be the number one thing I'd be trying to figure out how to develop with him. Because I think like that's like the one thing holding him back from being a really, really, really good defender. So I'd try and develop that, and I'd be willing to challenge him. Playing at the 3. So is it gonna help me win games that year? His rookie year? No, but that's fine. It's more about the long-term development for me. So I saw you roll your eyes too, Eric. Don't think I didn't see that.
Busted.
Yeah. You might not agree, but I feel like what I'm saying makes a lot of sense, man.
I don't think lateral quickness is something that can just be improved by playing a different position.
No, not by
I
playing a
think,
defense position, but like with the training staff.
yeah.
I'd be working on him to try and improve that, and then I'd be challenging him, challenging
I
his improvement.
I mean, you saw him play once and thought he could play small forward. I I have not
I watched him play a
gone.
lot more than once. What are you talking
No,
about?
I'm saying you said after the first time you saw him play that you thought he could play small forward. I don't think there's any chance he can play small forward. He'll get abused at the small forward in the
That'll be
NBA.
fine. He
But
wouldn't be
that's
long
just me.
term at the 3. It would be
Yeah.
more of like a half season or 1 year thing.
Derek Jones could play shooting guard way before Obi could play small
It'd
forward.
be more. It'd be more of a. I mean, Derek Jones is already a perimeter player. He's not really a 2 though. Yeah, I don't even really disagree with that. But that's also for like player productivity reasons. Mine is like, okay, mine I don't think it would hurt his development at all. It wouldn't help us, and it'd help us lose games. That's not a problem to me, And then I got two, and then I'd make a trade mid-season to clear up some minutes. Instead of like losing Pirtle for no value, maybe trade him to a better situation where he could get more minutes and get a little bit of value back for him, because he's on a decent contract. So, I'd rather do that and play topping at the 3 for half a season. You know what I mean? And who knows what happens with Cousins? Like, good chance Cousins gets hurt, or he balls out. I trade him too. Like. And then I have my 3-man rotation of Christian Wood, Laurie Marketing, Obi Toppin. That was like my idea. I don't think the only problem I had was the price tag. So, doesn't make sense to play Toppin at 3 though for Marquise Chris, but it does to make room for Wood, and especially since I can make moves mid-season and get Toppin back to the 4. And he's a rookie. He doesn't even necessarily have to play, to be honest. But I drafted him at 4, so kind of got to play him. Anyway, that is my defense of that. I don't know why every time I have an argument with Clay, he starts bringing up random players. Freaking Derek Jones Jr. I don't know what Derek Jones Jr. has to do with anything.
I'm gonna stay out of this, but it seems like there's some beef or something.
No, I'm done talking. I'm what's
Okay.
next? I'm waiting for you to talk. I'm not beefing. I just said my viewpoint.
I'm through with all the free agent signings for today.
So we got we still got like 30, 40 signings left. Are people just not giving offers on a lot of guys, or just kind of waiting to see what happens with them? Or
Well, now that the 2 bigger dominoes fell with Wood and Bogdanovic, that frees up teams to know whether they got him or not. So they can focus now on the few that are remaining, and that's what some of them were holding out for hope, that despite not getting many or 0 offers so far, that a team that struck out would come back and then be like, oh crap, we missed out.
yeah,
Kind of like what the Knicks did last offseason when they struck out on all the big guys and had to sign guys like Portis and Taj Gibson and all those guys, the ridiculous Marcus Morris, to really big contracts to just to fill out their roster.
yeah.
But yeah, a lot of teams do not have roster spots left. A lot of teams don't really have money to sign anyone other than minimum contracts either. So yeah,
Bro, no big name, like no top free agents switch teams. I'm looking through this right now. The player that got the most money in year 1 that switched teams was Jeff Teague going to the Pistons. That was because I'm looking at this.
well that we kind of talked about this before, but yeah, there was a lot of teams that had bird rights, and their biggest offers were
Yeah.
the mid-level exception, other than the bird rights, and that
Well, I mean,
wasn't less than what they were
it makes
offering. Yeah,
sense. I
so
was just surprised there wasn't like one guy because Whiteside went back to Portland, Bertans went back to Washington, AD went back to LA, Gallinari went back to OKC. That was one I thought might move.
what
Harrell
you
went
know
back
what
to the
though?
Clippers.
So until Harrell, all the other ones you mentioned only got one offer each, and that
True.
was by their current team. So like no one else offered Whiteside, no one else offered.
Millsap went back. Marcus Morris went back. Ingram obviously went back. That was the most obvious one that happened. Van Vliet went back. Joe Harris went back. Yeah. Um, honestly, I made the biggest like big name signing that wasn't a re-signing.
Cousins.
So
Yeah,
I win. Let's go. Which Cousins is going to be
yeah.
in that
That
MLE
that
video, by the way. Just a little teaser for y'all.
that was the other thing. That like a lot of the veterans too. Like they're not going to get paid by teams like Charlotte. Like I don't want to pay Ibaka like his actual value. So like
Yeah.
like there's really no point in me doing that. Um so yeah, like most of the teams with cap space weren't looking for a bunch of veteran old dudes, and the teams that could afford them didn't have the money, or that wanted them didn't have the money to do it.
Yeah.
Harkless wasn't a re-sign, says
Yeah,
Trevor.
he was
Neither was
five.
Melo.
Hey, Harkless was 5 mil though, so I'm talking about like
Yeah,
guys
I
that got
know.
offered more than Because I mean, you had some players like that.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear Eric's opinion on D'Anthony Melton versus Shaquille Harrison signings.
Um. Yeah, I see the potential in Melton. I like him as a player. I don't know if I would have. Well, obviously, I didn't offer him that much money. Um, but I can see both sides of the argument. And I think he's the type of player who will get that kind of money. And two, when you have a restricted free agent like that, you do have to overpay, as we just saw with Bogdanovic. New York tried to overpay, and they still didn't get him. So you do have to factor in a little bump of salary there, because if you would have offered him like 5 or 6 million, that would have been an instant match for
1000%.
Memphis.
Yeah. It
So
was like you offering Scalabrine like 5-6 million, and
right,
then he gets
yeah.
matched.
So if you want him, you got to overpay for him and make Memphis be like, oh crap, I have to give him 9 million a year. Like I don't know about that. And then, so I don't think it was that bad of an oversigning. Plus he was
I think I played it perfectly, to be honest.
he was a. This is kind of confusing, but so if you have a player that's only played in the NBA for 2 years, but he's a restricted free agent, the most any team can offer him is the mid-level exception, whatever that equals in salary. So the most you could have offered him in the first 2 years is like 9.755 million.
Mm-hmm.
So you got him just under that, which I think is pretty good. So I think in real life, a team would probably have to offer him close to that to even have a chance to get Memphis not to match on him, seeing how he seemed to be coming on as an important rotation player for them. But in the third and fourth years, you could max him out to a full contract if you really wanted to. That's kind of what happened with
Tyler Johnson. He got 5 million a year for the first 2 years, and then it got bumped up to 19 million a year the last 2 years, and he just came off that contract after this season. So,
and then there was a couple. Omar Ashik and Jeremy Lin had that happen when Houston signed him. So yeah, there's ways to like offer more money, but yeah, it's kind of sketch how to do it. But yeah, I thought it was pretty fair for both sides. I understood why Memphis didn't match, and I understood why you had to offer that to make sure they didn't match if you really liked him. I'm a little worried about his shooting percentages. That's why I didn't offer him a contract. But overall, he's a pretty good player, good defender, solid ball handler, all that stuff. So
yeah.
I think it's pretty close to what he's worth.
Yeah, my logic was like right now I think he's an average NBA player. And I think average NBA players, the average NBA salary is like 7.6 million a year. So like 9 million didn't seem like that much of an overpay to me, you know? Didn't seem like that much of a reach at all. I mean, you look at like Royce O'Neal gets almost $9 million a year, and he's already at his prime, so he's not going to be much better than he is. You look at, I mean, what guys like Terry Rozier get. Terry Rozier got double, so it's like, and I don't think Terry Rozier is that much better. So just I was happy with it. And the thing is, I've been on the DeAnthony Melton train since before he got drafted. I found a tweet. I posted it in the Discord. I'm not sure. I don't think everybody saw it, but I found a tweet where he ended up in a trade. It was DeAnthony Melton, Josh Jackson to Memphis for Javon Carter and Kyle Korver, and everybody's like, "Oh, why would Memphis got a steal because of Josh Jackson?" I found a tweet where I was saying, "No, it's because of DeAnthony Melton, because DeAnthony Melton's going to be the best player in this deal." Already, he's the best player in that deal. Like I've already kind of, and that was right after he got drafted with the 46th pick. So he got drafted with like a mid-second, which a lot of those guys don't amount to anything. So I already feel like I've kind of been right on him. So it's like I got to go after him. Like I've trusted my gut so far has kind of been right. I still think he has a lot more potential beyond that, but my gut's been right so far, so I'm gonna ride with it. Problem is, in real life, I'm not sure Memphis is necessarily the best. I don't know. I feel like his minutes could easily get yanked around because they have John Morant and they are high on Tyus Jones, and they got some guys that can play the two, Dylan Brooks and whatnot. So it might end up in a situation where they kind of got a logjam and DeAnthony Melton gets screwed over because of that. So honestly, I'd like to see him play outside of Memphis, but I've been a fan of him for a while. So that's the thing. It's like Clace was giving me heat for like talking up certain guys I was trading for in this game, but it's like these guys I was high on in real life. I'm high on Wagner in real life. I'm high on Melton in real life. Like there's a reason why I went out and got him in the first place. But I am flexible to move off guys at the same time. So anyway,
thoughts on the Scal signing? Scal's pissed.
No, Scal is not pissed. Scal was interested in Charlotte. He wanted to play with his boy Anthony. Okay, he was kind of excited to do that, but he did suggest that Charlotte offers more money, or at least a player option. Charlotte offered the player option, which was good for Scal, but also didn't make it harder for Atlanta to match. So.
I was going to overpay for a big in this market where every other big was going for like $5 or $6 million.
That's the thing though. You got to overpay to get him to not match. And honestly, I think Scal could definitely be worth like $8 million if he's able to play like how he did last year and able to like start shooting threes again. Because I don't know why he stopped in the first place.
Man, I've been seeing stuff where like is Scal even worth the next contract and things like that. So I don't think he's going to get anywhere close to that in real life.
If he. I hope we bring him back then. Like,
yeah, me too.
He's definitely worth another contract.
But I've been seeing like stuff like 3 years, $9 million max is the highest I'd go for him.
Use our biannual exception then and bring Scal back. Like, Scal's worth it. I mean, because defensively he improved a lot last year. He was a solid defender last year. Nobody ever thought he'd be a solid defender. He can still finish, still got that floater, still can short roll and hit, and like can knock down mid-range jumpers. And honestly, I still think he's a solid three-point shooter. I don't know why he stopped shooting threes. Like throughout his career, he's like 34-35% or something like that. So if he like starts shooting threes again, combined with what he already provides, he'd be a really, really good big to have off the bench. Like he would definitely be worth $8 million, $9 million in my opinion. Like he has the potential to be worth that, and a lot of that potential is based on shooting that he's already shown a lot of flashes of because he developed offensively.
See, I told him that every game would be like game 82 of the 2018-19 season where him and Ant had that monster game against the Kings, and I just let them do whatever they wanted this year, and I didn't care. So he was really looking forward to being my starting power forward and playing a ton of minutes and averaging like 27 and 9.
27 and 9. I mean,
what did he do in that game? Wasn't it something like that?
Something like that. That was so much fun to be there at that game. Because I actually wanted OKC, and a lot of fans were like, no, OKC, I can't believe we're coming back. We're screwed. And those fans pissed me off, man. That was so ridiculous. I wish I wasn't a true Blazer fan. I wish I was like had my own channel at that point because I would have ranted. but I couldn't do that in True Blazer fan, even though I wanted to. That's like a defeatist, like non-winners mentality to be like, we can't deal with OKC. The team was like, screw it, we'll take OKC, and then they dismantled OKC, and then Westbrook gets traded, and then Paul George gets traded because Dame hit a 37-footer in Game 5 to end the series. Like, let's have a winner's mindset. That was like my whole like message at the time. Like, why are we having, as a competitor, like, I have like a competitive mindset as a fan, which I think a lot of people do. Like, I played sports and I'm just like a competitive person. So when it comes to like being a fan of my team, like I want to have a competitive mindset. I'm not going to go into things like, oh, we're screwed, we're going to lose, we suck, blah, blah, blah. Like, sure, I might get pessimistic going into each game, and we could definitely lose this game against the freaking New York Knicks because we just lost against 3 bad teams in a row. But, like, if we're playing really well, which we were up to then, we were playing really, really well. And OKC's not that great. I just didn't understand the whole mindset behind, we can't deal with these guys.
Oh, but Westbrook and George in the playoffs will get the playoff treatment, the star treatment, and they'll just go to the free throw line the whole time.
So, yeah, I mean, I just, that drove me crazy when that happened. So I was sitting there rooting in the stadium, rooting for those guys to make that comeback, and they did. And we all know how that worked out because we wouldn't have a Western Conference Finals if we didn't make that comeback. We wouldn't have made it there. We would have lost Golden State in round 2 if we even got out of round 1.
We would have played Utah, yeah.
Yeah, which Utah might have been a harder matchup than Denver or OKC. And Denver, we, like, barely beat them. Like, we could not, that series could not have been any closer whatsoever, from the 4 overtime win to Game 7. That series was as close as possible.
I shortchanged Scal a little bit. He had 29 and 15 in that game.
Damn.
Jeez.
I mean, like, Scal, I think Scal would like that, to go start, to play next to Anthony. Also play next to
Wiseman,
Edwards, and Anthony Edwards and Wiseman. Yeah, I mean,
that'd be a fun team to watch in real life.
Yeah.
No, I'm not just saying that because the Hornets.
No,
but,
it would.
Yeah.
It would be. It would be. I mean, you looked out, got the damn first pick. Of course you did. I said you're not going to get the first pick, and then 10 seconds later, oh, Charlotte's not at 8. Up, Charlotte's in the top 4. Up, Charlotte's 3. Charlotte. Oh my God! Of course, this freaking guy Eric going to win the lottery, and then.
Yeah, I was lucky.
And then he trades 14 Jalen McDaniels in a second for 7. Like, I'm sorry, Zacho, but that was maybe not the best move. But if there's somebody you want around 14, then I get that. Just kind of not enough to get back to move down from 7 to 14, in my opinion. And then Eric's able to get up to 3, taking on Horford. Just by taking on Horford, trading Batum and 7 for Horford and 3. And then he trades Horford for Valanciunas and Jang. So he gets value for Horford back. So he basically traded... Let me do the math here. Eric traded...
Then I got a first for Jonas.
Did you? Let me open up Excel and let me do the math here. You got... Charlotte gets... You got the 3rd pick, a first-round pick...
You moving up too. You had some ones that were like that as well.
But not that bad. You basically traded.
Well, then he gave you Jalen McDaniels, which didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I thought he wanted Jalen McDaniels, so I was surprised. But you basically traded. God, I'm trying to do the math here, because it's gonna look crazy. Jalen McDaniels. Who'd you get back in that Valanciunas trade?
James Johnson. And a first.
Oh my God. So you traded the 14th pick, a second-round pick, Jalen McDaniels and Nick Batum, for the 3rd pick, a first-round pick, James Johnson and Gorgie Chang.
That's good, right?
That's freaking fleece work right there, man. Like, Nick Batum is, like, equal to, like, James Johnson and Gorgie Chang. James Johnson and Gorgie Chang make a little bit more. They're all veterans who were overpaid with 1 year left. So, like, those guys cancel out. Jalen McDaniels, nobody even really wanted, so that cancels out.
Well, you forgot how I got 14th in the first place, too.
Oh, you traded Devontae Graham for Simons in
Yeah.
the 14th. Yeah, Devontae. Honestly, that makes it look more even. More even, in my opinion, if you like write it out like this, because this just looks like an absolute fleece. Because if you take out the players, which I think pretty much cancel each other out value-wise, you basically traded the 14th pick and a second-round pick for the third pick and a first-round pick. Like, oh man. I mean, I don't think that was a bad trade by Cleveland, because it's just the fact that you were then able to flip Horford for a first-round pick, like, which you shouldn't have been able to do. And then it was the trade up from 14 to 7.
But you got a first for Dedmon, so.
No, I didn't. I got a first for Allen, and he took on Dedmon. So, what? Try to say I paid. Man, this man Clay's trying to say I paid for him to take on Harris when he literally gave me back Dedmon and didn't give up any picks or anything, and then he freaking.
But Harris has a way worse contract than Dedmon.
I mean, on multiple years, but Harris's contract is pretty equal to LeVert, and I don't think LeVert is really anywhere near that much better than Gary Harris. I don't like Gary Harris is a really good defender. All right, efficiency, he's struggled, but LeVert's efficiency isn't any better than Gary Harris's. You realize that, right? And LeVert's like a far worse defender. So yeah, he can make plays a little bit. He can get hot a little bit, but I don't think he's noticeably better than a guy like Gary Harris, who is a starter for a 50-plus win team. In part because part of the reason that team's a 50-plus win team is because Gary Harris locks guys up.
Well, he has both of them.
I know. I'm just saying that, like, value-wise, LeVert and Harris are pretty equal to me. So, he traded LeVert to Atlanta and got back Thibault. I traded Harris to Atlanta, got back Dedmon. And he was giving me crap for that Harris Dedmon stuff. And then he trades, basically, in my opinion, an equal player to Gary Harris and trades that for Thibault. Like,
but you were just trying to get out of Harris's contract. You were just trying to find anyone who would take him for a lesser contract.
That's irrelevant.
So.
That's not relevant to this, though. He's giving you see what I'm saying?
No, I don't.
He was giving me crap for Atlanta, making Atlanta.
He just
pay.
went through a list of all your. I don't think he ever really gave you crap. I didn't see many people giving you crap about that.
Oh, he did it. I don't think you saw it. He was giving me crap like the night before he made the LeVert trade.
No, I know he listed all your trades. But at the time he didn't go through that one like he did some of your other ones.
Oh, I know. Well, I'm just saying. He said I paid Atlanta, or I had Atlanta pay to take on Harris when their payment was trading a bad contract of Dedmon. So I didn't understand how I made them pay. So that was the part that bugged me. Is like that doesn't even make any sense. Maybe other trades I could see the logic a little bit, but that one did make sense. It was just funny that we had that conversation and then that Atlanta trade happened, and then he was trying to argue with like, yeah, well, Atlanta has cap space. I'm like, well, yeah, I just traded with them and you were just criticizing the deal with them. So, I mean, like, I honestly, LeVert in Atlanta is kind of interesting. He needs to be able to keep shooting well. He has upside. I'm not a hater, bro. How am I a hater? You know that
you hate LeVert. Yeah, you just.
I was high on LeVert when he was coming into the draft. I said it was a great pick. The problem is he's not efficient. Honestly, he's one of those guys that if he got more efficient and improved defensively, he could be really, really good. Like upside wise, he's okay. The thing is, I don't think he'll necessarily reach it because he is injury prone and he has been in the league for a minute.
Well, Beal was the same way. I'm not saying he's as good as Beal, but Beal's first 2 or 3 years, he was never healthy, and then all of a sudden he plays every game almost now.
But LeVert wasn't healthy in college either.
Part of the problem with LeVert is both of his injuries happened mid-season when he was playing really well, and then he came back and struggled a lot for a few weeks after he came back. So the numbers are hard to read because he doesn't have a full 82 game season to base his numbers on, like a huge sample size, and you're trying to compare numbers when he was healthy and playing well to numbers that make those numbers go down and his efficiency look worse because he wasn't shooting well when he does come back from a horrific leg injury. So he's kind of a tough player to judge. I do like his playmaking skills. I think that's a really good characteristic to have in a small forward. Just someone who can take a little bit of pressure off of Trey at times. But yeah, if his shooting dips at all, I'd probably lean more towards that being a tough fit. But yeah, if he continues to shoot the way he has, I don't think it's too bad.
The thing is before he got hurt the season before last in 2018, 2019, he was balling out for a little bit, and I felt like that raised like the perception of him astronomically, and people didn't realize that before that injury where it looked like he broke his leg, but it was just like a dislocation or whatever. Before that injury, his play was already declining back to kind of what it was the year before. Last year, he only plays 39 games. Yeah, he shoots 38% from three, but for his career, he's only a 34% shooter. You know, the much larger sample size says he's a 34% shooter. So yes, he can improve, but he's already almost 26 years old. Turns 26 in like 3 months. So with him, it's just like you put him in Atlanta. It's like you don't want bad defenders around a guy like Trae Young, in my opinion. It's kind of like the Portland situation. You don't want like you don't want.
See, I don't think he's a bad defender. I don't.
I've just never been impressed with him defensively. I need to watch him more. But I mean, it's highly subjective. So he's definitely not like a lockdown guy.
Yeah, for sure. I think he's pretty average. I just wouldn't call him a horrible defender. I mentioned this a lot, but there's lots of guys like Hood that I think can be decent defenders in the right situation, and I put LeVert in that category too, where like people call him a terrible defender, but like if you watch Hood play defense, he's not a terrible defender, you know?
Yeah, to me it's just like you're paying him $16+ million a year for multiple years for the player that you hope he can be.
Well, sure. Yeah. I mean, you're playing Melton for the player you're hoping he can.
Yeah, but it's like he's already close to that player, in my opinion. He's already like worth like $7.5 million based on what he showed last year. LeVert, I think, is worth $7.5 million. He's getting paid 16. So, and the thing is, LeVert is almost 26. Melton isn't even 22 yet. So that's the thing. You're paying LeVert for what you hope he can be. The thing is, it's going to be hard for him to reach what he can be because he's so damn injury prone. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, there's no denying if he gets hurt every year, there's no way he's worth any contract really because he's not ever on the floor to help you.
I mean, let's just do you remember how injury prone he was at Michigan? Like he was constantly, he was constantly hurt, man. Like
not one person could deny he's injury prone. Yeah. Like, that's a fact.
I know. I'm just giving the full context, because like I don't think he'll ever. I don't know. Like yes, he could randomly start putting together full seasons because you brought up Bradley Beal, how he's like hurt, and then all of a sudden he was just like consistently healthy. So like yes, that might happen, but it's like his injury problems go beyond the 4 years of the NBA. Like his injury problems go back like a long time. I'm not saying that for you because you know that. I'm saying that for the people watching. Like his injury problems go back a long time. So it's like. Is he really a 38% shooter? Is he actually a decent defender? Like, is he going to be able to stay? There's just so many question marks to pay him $16 million that I think that's a like bad contract. That's why I'm not a fan of LeVert. You know what I mean? Like that's just like I'm not hating on him. You know what I mean? I'd love to see him, like, it seems like a good guy. I'd love to see him play 82 games and average 20 points per game and 5 assists, 5 rebounds, whatever. I'd love to see him end up in a better position than Brooklyn is now because he has a lot of ball and dominant players around him. I don't think that's a great fit now. I'd love to see him succeed. I'm not hating on him. I don't hate LeVert. I'm just looking at the evidence that I have to look at for him as a player, and I don't like what I see at the moment. So... I mean, I was always hating on Dennis Schroeder, but Dennis Schroeder balled out last year. Like, he improved mightily last year and was one of the most underrated players in the league last year, in my opinion. So, I'll change my opinion if LeVert, changes my mind. Like,
Okay. I think his contract's pretty fair. If he's ever healthy, it would be a steal, I think. And then, yeah, if he's not healthy, obviously there's no way he can live up to that. But it's kind of hard to judge.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like we're starting to look at players differently because I feel like LeVert was the type of guy you would think was overrated.
Well, you just have these players like LeVert and Van Vliet and stuff like that who I think are quality players, and you just think they're trash.
I don't think he's trash. I don't think he's as good as people think.
Well, no one's like saying he's great. I mean, I don't know.
Granted, Doge kind of played. Doge hyped him up a ton in a conversation we were having after he declined that trade, by the way, which was funny. Doge is in here saying LeVert is worth like 60. LeVert, he's hyping up LeVert even though he like screwed over a whole deal because he didn't want LeVert anymore. But I don't know. It's just you know how I am with guys that are inefficient, that can't defend. Or that can't defend, that are inefficient but need the ball in their hands, that are suspect outside shooters. Like, those types of players I've never really liked, And that's kind of what I see LeVert as. He can grow out of that, but...
yeah. I mean, he wasn't suspect last year, but like I said, close or small sample size, so it's hard to tell.
Yeah, he has to finish better inside the arc. Like, if he can shoot like that from 3 and finish better inside the arc than he did, then that'll be good. And he showed flashes of that in March, so maybe it is an injury thing, but the dude shot under 43% from inside the arc. So he just has to finish better in that regard. Because he can make plays and he can play the 2 or the 3. Like, I see why people like him. I see the upside. He could definitely be worth 16, 17 million if he is able to be healthier and tap into some of the upside, finish better inside the arc, defend a little bit better than he has so far in his career. Yeah, it'd definitely be worth it. Like, he's one of those guys that, like, right now he's definitely not worth it, but he has a lot of the tools that if he just kind of put them together a little bit, that he would be, if that makes sense. It's not like it's like he's far off right now, but he has a chance to really, like, improve his game in my eyes, if that makes sense. Just because of what he already has.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of weird because now he's playing with Trae Young, but yeah, on that team with Kyrie, who didn't really play a lot, but then he got hurt. But most of the games they played together earlier in the season, and then towards the end of the season, obviously Kyrie wasn't there, so he started showing out once he came back from the injury. Yeah, it's hard to tell. I don't know. I wish we could have like a full season from him to see exactly what he is. But yeah, I do like having a guard who can help your point guard with ball handling abilities, though.
Yeah. I mean, just like Trae Young, I think you guys surround him with shooting, and I think you guys surround him with defenders. So that is like, I'm not a big fan of the fit. Unless he's coming off the bench. Off the bench, I like him as a better fit because he can, I don't know who their backup point guard is, but like LeVert could help the backup point with some playmaking duties. You wouldn't necessarily have to go out and get like a good playmaking backup point. You could kind of get like a combo guard and be fine with LeVert being a playmaker off the bench. But no, that's an interesting debate. It's nice to have an actual basketball debate.
He got Chris Dunn, who's a good defender.
Oh yeah, he did get Chris Dunn. See, but that's another guy that Chris Dunn isn't even close to LeVert as a shooter. Like, I'm talking about LeVert's shooting being suspect. Chris Dunn's shooting is awful. So I do want to be wary about getting too many non-shooters, in my opinion, if you're Atlanta.
Well, Thybulle's not a shooter.
I mean, Thybulle shot what 30.
I don't.
36%. Yeah, but I mean,
it's not so ugly.
Didn't Bill Cartwright make shots? Like, it's not all about how it looks. If it goes in, it goes in. I mean,
that's true.
I mean, Thybulle shot over 35% last year as a rookie. Like,
yeah,
that's I don't think he's a worse shooter than LeVert.
I just cringe when I see him shoot.
Yeah,
it's bad.
It's not the best. But I mean, Thybulle had better 3-point percentage last season than the guy like Anthony Simons. So,
oh yeah, I know.
I mean, You got it. I'm a run. I gotta go get some food, and it sounds like
Yeah.
your household's getting
Yeah,
rambunctious at the moment.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
So anyway, thank you guys for tuning into the stream. I'll catch you later tonight on Discord. And yeah, this has been a fun mock off season. We'll keep going with free agency. Don't know how long this is gonna last, but hopefully we'll get into the preseason. I still got to work out the system for that and work out the 2K stuff for that. So it's gonna take a little bit of time, but it'll be fun to watch, to like run these teams mid-season. Honestly, just hopefully I can make the simulation realistic enough to make it fun, because that's the goal. So anyway, nothing to plug with the outro. I'll just see you guys later. Hope you guys have a good week. As always, peace out. Go Blazers.